Hello, everyone. This is a podcast for you on matrices. And the first thing to know is a matrix is just rows and columns of numbers, and they're a way to organize information. They're also listed by the size of the matrices. So this is row 1, this is row 2. You always start by the upper left corner, counting downward for which row it is. Column, this starts with column 1, column 2, column 3. It always, again, is the upper left corners where you start counting. Rows going down, columns going across. The dimensions of a matrix is given by the number of rows and columns. So again, this would be row 1, row 2, row 3, column 1, column 2. So there's 3 rows, 2 columns. So it's 3 by 2. It's just the X like the multiplication symbol, but you don't say 3 times 2. It's 3 by 2. So just checking your understanding of that. So you count the number of rows and the number of columns. Just being thorough, this is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. There's no reason to do that in your homework. I'm just really trying to reinforce that the row 1 starts at the top and counts downward. Column 1, column 2, column 3. So it's 4 by 3. 2 rows by 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. This would be 3 rows by 1 column. The element in a matrix is an individual number that's in the matrix. So there would be 9 elements in this matrix. You can name each one, and again, this is row 1, row 2, row 3, column 1, column 2, column 3. And if I write this matrix out using the row and column designations, that 4 is row 1, column 1. The 18 is row 2, column 1. Negative 20 is row 3, column 1. The 14, row 1, column 2. The 5, row 2, column 2. And the 4, row 2, row 3, column 2. The negative 7, row 1, column 3. 13, row 2, column 3. The 22 is row 3, column 3. So those would be all the elements that are in that matrix. So this matrix has a name G. When they give you a lowercase g, and why it's lowercase I can't begin to tell you, it's just how they're doing it. When they give you this, it's asking for what element is in row 2, column 1. So row 1, row 2, row 3, column 1. So it's the 18 is G21. Checking this, see if you guys understand it. Find me the element that's in row 1, column 3. Row 1, column 3. So the answer to this would be 8. Find me the element that's in row 2, column 1. Row 2, column 1. So 4.6. This one's a little more involved. They're telling you it has to be a 2 by 3 matrix. This first one has 3 rows, 2 columns. This is a 3 by 2. You're looking for a 2 by 3, so it can't be A. Same deal on this one. This is a 3 by 2, so it can't be in this one. Both of these are 2 by 3 matrices. 2 rows, 3 columns. So now go to the second piece of information. We're looking for the element that's in row 1, column 2. That's a heck of a 2. Row 1, column 2. This is row 1. This is row 1. This is row 1. This is column 2. So row 1, column 2. Row 1, column 2. So it has to be C. Adding matrices. It's not a whole lot simpler than, whoops, not a whole lot simpler than adding matrices. All you have to do is add the individual elements together. So add 4 and 1. So you're going to get a new matrix. 4 plus 1 is 5. 8 plus 0 is 8. I don't know why it's so jumpy all of a sudden. Sorry about that. 3 plus 5 is 8. 7 plus 2 is 9. That's your answer. You're just adding the individual elements together. To add A and B together, again, you just add the elements. Now to say it, this is a 3 by 2, and you're adding it to a 3 by 2. They have to be the same dimensions. If they're not the same dimensions, it doesn't work. So let me clear this out, give you an example. Say it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Say this was your matrix. So this is a 2 by 3, and say I want to add it to this one. You have to add the individual elements. Well, you can start 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. But then what am I adding to this one? And you run into the same problem. When you're on this row, there's nothing to add it to. They have to be the same dimensions in order to add them together. Okay? 5 plus 2 is 7. 2 plus 3 is 5. 0 plus 4 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 0 is 1. 9 plus 2 is 11. I'll go a little faster through this one. I'm just not sure if you guys need extra help with this. So negative 10 and negative 1, and you're adding. So negative 11, 12 and 4, 16. Negative 6 and 22 is 16. 3 and 7 is 10. Okay? Subtracting, same deal. Well, okay, not the same, but I think you understood what I meant. You're just going to subtract individual elements. So your answer is 2 minus 5 is 3. 8 minus 6 is 2. 0 minus 11 is minus 11. 9 plus 3, 9 minus 3 is 6. The order that you do the subtraction is given by this indicator here. It's C minus D, so you're subtracting the second one from the first one. We certainly can say D minus C. Okay, you just switch the order, and again, you still subtract the elements. Not so sure we need to practice this. I think you guys got your adding and subtracting down, but we'll do this one just to make sure. So that would be 3, 1, 4, 19. I subtracted the individual elements in this order, x minus y. The last thing to show you that you need for your homework, if you had 2 times this matrix, 1, 15, 6, 3, all you do is multiply the 2 to each element. So your answer would be 2, 30, 12, 6. That's your answer. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. I think that's all there is to this lesson. Thanks for your time.